Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back to our today's session. This is Abdullah Mukhlis, your literature's instructor. Luckily, this is the last but not the least video of our today's session or our this course's session. Today, we are talking about types of poetry. Although we named types of poetry in the very first sessions of this program, but today I want to talk about them with complete details. There are three types of poetry: narrative, lyric, and dramatic poetry. Let's start from narrative poetry. Narrative poetry is a genre of poetry that tells a story. It often follows a specific structure and uses poetic devices to convey the narrative. There are several kinds of narrative poetry, each with its own unique characteristics. Here are some examples. First, it is called epic poetry. Epic poetry is one of the oldest forms of narrative poetry and typically focuses on heroic or legendary figures and their adventures. Epics are usually long and grand in scope, often recounting the history or mythology of a culture. Examples include Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Now we are going to talk about ballad. Ballads are narrative poems that are typically written in a song-like format. They often have a simple and rhythmic structure, making them easy to remember and recite orally. Ballads often tell tragic or romantic tales and are known for their emotional impact. Famous ballads include The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge and The Ballad of Reading Gaol by Oscar Wilde. Third, it is called metrical romance. Metrical romance are narrative poems that focus on love and adventure. They often contain elements of fantasy, chivalry, and courtly love. These poems follow a specific metrical structure and employ rhyme. Examples of metrical romances include Edmund Spenser's The Faerie Queene and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Fourth type of narrative poetry is called narrative lyric. Narrative lyric poetry combines the features of narrative and lyric poetry. It tells a story but also emphasizes the expression of personal emotions and experiences. These poems often have a musical quality and imply vivid imagery. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Robert Browning's The Pied Piper of Hamelin are examples of narrative lyrics. Next, we have idyll. An idyll is a type of narrative poem that portrays a peaceful and picturesque scene or episode of a rural or pastoral life. It often celebrates the beauty of nature and the simplicity of country living. The Lotus Eaters by Alfred Lord and John Milton's Il Allegro are examples of idylls. Now let's talk about lyric poetry. Lyric poetry is a genre of poetry that expresses personal emotions, thoughts, and feelings of the poet. It is often characterized by its musicality, imagery, and the expression of individual experiences. Here are some common kinds of lyric poetry. First, we have sonnet. A 14-line poem usually written in iambic pentameter with various rhyme schemes. It often explores themes of love, beauty, and the passage of time. There are different types of sonnets, including the Italian sonnet and the English Shakespearean sonnet. Second, we have ode, a lyrical poem that expresses intense emotions or celebrates a particular subject, such as nature or a person or an abstract concept. Odes are often characterized by their elaborate and formal structure. Third one is called elegy, a mournful and reflective poem that laments the death of someone or something. Elegies explore themes of loss, grief, and remembrance. They can be written for individuals, groups, or even for abstract concepts or ideals. The fourth one is called ballad, a narrative poem that tells a story, often in the form of a song. Ballads typically have a simple and rhythmic structure and are often passed down through oral tradition. They often focus on themes of love, tragedy, or historical events. The fifth type of lyric poetry is called haiku, a traditional form of Japanese poetry consisting of 3 lines with 5-7-5 syllable structure. Haikus usually capture a single moment in nature and evoke a strong emotion or insight. Sixth, it is called ghazal, a poetic form originating from Arabic and Persian traditions. Ghazals consist of rhyming couplets and typically explore themes of love, longing, and spirituality. Each couplet is self-contained and can be read independently. 7, we have a sestina, a highly structured poem consisting of 6 stanzas of 6 lines each, followed by a 3-line, the same 6 end words are repeated in a specific pattern throughout the poem, creating a complex interweaving of images and meanings. Number 8, we have Valanil, a 19-line poem with a specific rhyme schemes and repetition of lines. Valanils often explore obsessive or recurring themes and emotions and are known for their distinct musicality. Now let's talk about dramatic poetry. Dramatic poetry is a genre of poetry that emphasizes the theatrical aspects of storytelling. It typically presents a narrative or dramatic situation through the use of dialogue and character development. There are several kinds of dramatic poetry, each with its own distinctive characteristics. Here are some of the main types. First, it is called tragedy. Tragedy is perhaps the most well-known form of dramatic poetry. It explores themes of human suffering, fate, and the consequences of moral choices. Tragedies often feature a protagonist who is confronted with a conflict or flaw that ultimately leads to their downfall. Second, we have comedy. Comedy in dramatic poetry focuses on humor, wit, and satire. It often involves humorous misunderstandings, mistaken identities, and playful wordplay. Unlike tragedy, comedy generally ends with a resolution and a happy outcome. Third, we have melodrama. Melodramatic poetry exaggerates emotions and events to create intense, exaggerated effects. It often features stock characters such as villains and heroes, and relies on suspense, spectacle, and sentimentality to captivate the audience. Fourth, we have historical drama. Historical drama involves the reimagining of historical events or figures in poetic form. It often combines elements of tragedy or comedy with a focus on historical accuracy and cultural context. The fifth one is called verse drama. Verse drama is written in verse form and intended to be performed on stage. It combines poetic language and dramatic structure to convey the story and engage the audience. The last type of dramatic poetry is called masque. A masque is a form of dramatic poetry that originated in the 16th and 17th centuries. It combines poetry, music, dance, and elaborate customs to create a lavish performance. Masques often feature allegorical characters and themes. This is all about poetry. Hopefully, this is the end of our course, and I hope you enjoyed this and learn more from this. Till next course, have a very nice time. See you. Bye.